The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Outside Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Under a cloud-hidden Texas sun that sits tall in its mid-afternoon saddle, the 7th season of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship reaches its conclusion here at the Circuit of the Americas. The overall driver crown has been decided, but the Tier 2 and team titles are still up for grabs. And all the action from both the initial 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows comes to you live on the Global Sim Racing channel. A Lone Star State howdy and welcome to the final Season 7 edition of GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye view is yours truly, Bill Soupson. With my usual partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose, still on assignment, I am thrilled to be joined by the quote potentate himself, Justin Prince. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the Doctor of Pits Topology, our director, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 streamy, award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader Formula Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Now, the last time the AOR was at the Circuit of the Americas was as recent as last season's Round 11 when Peter Don't Pay the Berryman accomplished the rare feat of doing the double, winning both the sprint and feature races and totaling an impressive 55 points for the effort. As if he needs any more reason to feel confident, this season's dominant driver Adam Tierney finished third in last season's feature, followed by a fifth in the sprint to tie for second best score on the day. Justin's, for viewers who missed GSRC Season 6 coverage, let's bring them up to speed about this place as the AOR comes back to Texas and the Circuit of the Americas.
Thank you very much, Bill. Of course, today we are in Elroy, Texas today, on the southeastern periphery of Austin city limits. COTA was the first U.S. real course to be purposely built for the Formula One series, opening in 2012. This 5.5-kilometer circuit has 20 turns and has a total of 133 feet of elevation. Now, this place was also designed to replicate parts of several tracks, including Silverstone's Maggots Beckett's Chapel sequence. To encourage drivers to follow multiple racing lines, the track was deliberately laid out with very wide corners, meaning there was a lot of chances for people to dive in and get some passes. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to get yourself on the track. And to do so, let's jump on board and take a lap around COTA with our GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Circuit of the Americas. Coming up to the very unique turn 1, it's important not to outbrake yourself because the crest right at turn in means being too late on the binders will exaggerate the problem. There's a number of sharp turns like this one, and drivers on a single screen might find it hard to spot their apexes. Turn 2 is a bit of a nothing corner and easily flat out in the Renault, but after that comes the real challenge, the climb through the S's. Even though you have a lot of paved runoff, the line through here is extremely important. You'll lose time hand over fist if you get out of your rhythm. Plus, those pyramids at the apexes can severely damage the car if you plow over them. And even if you just glance them, expect it to upset the handling. Once you reach the top at turn 9, it's another blind sweeper through 10, but once again, there's no lifting required. Then, you finally get another passing opportunity at the hairpin of 11. However, think twice before sending it in willy-nilly. It might be smarter to set yourself up for a good exit out of here so that you can try to slingshot past down the backstretch. You can see just how long this rolling straightaway goes on, so expect the slipstream to really come into play during the race. At least when you're by yourself, it offers a bit of a breather. The real tricky bit will be if you're still side by side once you hit turn 12. You're coming up here at such a rate of knots that if you're offline trying to overtake, you can wind up looking silly by coming in too hot and giving the spot right back. From there, you're changing modes quickly because now we're into the stadium section. Turns 13 to 15 make up back-to-back hairpins that can be a bit frustrating. Though passes have occurred here, it's most often single file through this section. After that, swing left to give yourself a nice wide arc into the triple apexer of 16, 17, and 18. You can't quite keep it flat to the floor through here, and off the exit, you'll hold off to the right because the track swings right into the penultimate corner. This turn is deceptive because the car will want to push wide and a lot of drivers will have to take to the runoff. Then there's the final turn, which is another very important corner. With it leading onto the front stretch, getting a proper exit off of here can make the difference on 2 of your laps. But hopefully you've kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Circuit of the Americas.
Joe Peak on the mic, Scott Newton on the wheel, taking us around COTA. Thanks to Apex Racing UK for providing today's lap guide. Full disclosure, my usual boothmate Sean Ambrose is actually at COTA right now doing some pit work and spotting for a real-world event. Crackers, remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now, let's turn the wrench on who was the big point earner last time from Zandvoort. As you can see from the point totals, there was not one dominant driver at the Dunes. Mark Usher won the feature race, but DNF'd in the sprint, ranking the privateer in 4th. Thanks to a 14th in the feature, a favorable regrid set up Jean-Francois Godin to win the sprint. Nevertheless, the Flying Frenchman sits at the bottom of the chart. Best of a tight bunch was Red Devil's Christian to catch, thanks to a 4th and a 3rd. A 5th and a 2nd put Aperture's Phil Reed 2 points back. Smack dab in the middle is Formula Mini's Christoph Holstein on the merits of a 3rd and a 6th. So, how did all of that affect the championship point standings? And keep in mind that these numbers do take into account one of the top of the 2 drop races allowed by the rules. Now, he didn't win his first race until just before halfway, but since then, the Formula Mini driver has seen the checkered flag 3 more times. Of course, I'm talking about the man who clinched the Season 7 championship, Adam Tierney. Former champion Phil Reed has announced this will be his last AOR race for a while. The Aperture driver is looking to step away to recharge his batteries. Another former champ, Flying Frenchman Jean-Francois Godin, is only 16 points behind Reed. You know, you can't throw a wrench without hitting a former champ, and yet another one sits in 4th in the form of Red Devil's Christian to catch. Tim Birdie has 2 sprint wins to his credit. The SimRCB driver rounds out the overlay. Going to the Tier 2 championship, Now, these numbers do not take into account the drop races, and GSRC stat boys Simon and Poindexter, they could not hunt down the data, so we'll just make do with these raw totals. GSRC's best guess is the Rolling Thunder. Evan Emre is in the best position, in solid position, to win the Tier 2 crown. SimRC Prime Patrick Kessler moves up to striking distance. Emre's Force Fissy teammate, the Orange Viking, Knut Martinsen, might be too far back. The same for Incline's Ty McLeod, but a final podium seems doable. Daniel Morris for Red Devil rounds out the graphic. Finally, to the team championships. And again, the mystery of drop races makes finding the star teams half astronomy, half astrology. Tierney and Holstein seem to be in the best position for Formula Mini. This being Phil Reed's last race for a while, a nice way to step away would be if he and his Aperture Racing teammate, Kerry Nolden, could get yet another championship, as they are trying to get up just 49 points back. For fans who love the underdog story, sadly, Force Fissy has fallen to fourth behind SimRC's Prime, powered by Renee Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler. Takach and Morris have Red Devil Racing still on the preferred left side of the graphic. And welcome back to the overlay, Infinity Sim Sports, the majority of those points coming from Josh Thompson. And now, because the AOR is always picking up new viewers, for those joining us for the first time, better late than never, here's the Prince with the series and race details.
Thank you very much, Bill. Of course, today this is the 7th season with the league entering now its 3rd overall year in operation, with the last round being today. 2 drop weeks overall are accounted for in the schedule, and as usual, there are 2 races per format: the feature race and the sprint race. With open setups here, of course, the weather today was predetermined, but the weather is going to be pretty tough to tame. It's 78 degrees, overcast with a 78-degree track temp, and very high winds for today's event. Meanwhile, the feature race details, for those who do not know, it is a race distance of 40 minutes overall, with a sequential grid, as right now in the backdrop you see them setting up for qualifying for that said grid. 1 pit stop is expected for the race, on top of Vincent cap of 16 incident points. No fast repairs are allowed for the feature race, and the points are a standard system for this race. And how these drivers finish this feature race will also take into account how things go in the sprint race, but we'll get to that point there, Bill.
Yeah, the idea, if you can't win, at least finish on the lead lap. That'll help you when we go to the sprint race and they invert the grid. Okay, Justin, so many of these races are determined by pit stops and pit lane. How's the pit lane here at COTA?
The pit lane here is very difficult to go into because it is essentially just off the racing surface, if not on the racing surface, out of turn 20, entering into the front stretch, because you basically have to find a way to go from 120 miles per hour at most into that turn, back to as low as 40 miles per hour, which is the pit road speed, because you do not want to get a penalty at a track like this or in a series like this whatsoever. So you have to make sure not only you are out of the racing line quick enough, you have to make sure you don't lock up your brakes and you go slow enough to get into the pit lane and get your very quick stop if you can.
And with the talent level so equally balanced here, there is no room for mistakes, not only on the track, but also in pit lane as well. You see a lot of drivers hustling down there. We've seen Phil Reed pick up speeding penalties a couple times this season that have cost him finishes that would be well up close to the lead where he has to finish farther down. Let's talk about also pit stops can be longer if you damage your car out there. Sometimes you can damage it, you don't even realize it if you go over some of the curbs, but Justin, the curbing here, not quite so bad.
It's not too bad, although you do have, as you see on your screen there, the yellow triangle as Christoph Horestein, just passed by, but you basically can't afford to get any kind of damage in these cars because it's the difference of having a 5-second stop to possibly 15-20 seconds for your stop where you have to replace the wing, whether it's the front or the back. So as long as you don't take these corners too aggressively with the bumps and as well don't hit the gas pedal too hard, I think you're going to be safe and sound here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Now let's talk a little bit about the track and drafting. There's some really technical sections. You get down to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's back, forth, left, right, left, right, left, right. tough to pass in there, although we'll see it. But there are some long straights, mainly from 11 to 12 and from the last corner to the first corner, right?
Yes, I'm happy you brought that up because, of course, just in this practice alone, we've seen cars get out with a good exit, be about maybe 4 or 5 car lengths back out of turn 11, and by turn 12, they're ready to make the pass. So the draft is going to be very crucial for this track here, especially in those 2 straightaways you mentioned, where it could end up being the defining factor between you, in some cases, finishing on the lead lap, or in other cases, possibly celebrating a victory in the feature race or the sprint race today.
Now, we didn't talk about it before in our prep for the race, but go ahead and argue with me if you think I'm wrong. 16 incident caps. I got a hunch that with all the twisty sections here, we could lose a couple drivers.
Yeah, because if you overrun a corner, you're going to get an off-road for a 1X, or possibly if you cut too much into one of these curbs, you're going to get penalized with a time delay, or a time penalty, I should say. So basically, it's either going to be drivers overrunning the corners where you see the green carpeting, so to speak, on the exits, or you might, for example, have a car get loose when hitting the gas pedal and go sliding into the Armco barriers, which we've seen multiple times in this practice for today's event.
And we've had races here where incidents really don't matter if you're racing, like we've had one at Bathurst where if you're off track, basically you're in the wall. We've done races where if you're off track, you're on like a golf course and it takes you forever to get back. Here at COTA, you can pick up some incidents and it doesn't quite hurt you as much because there's so much paved runoff going on right now that you can pick it up without really noticing. So they got to watch out for that 16 cap. Looking at the qualifying right now, it is Josh Thompson out in front. Boy, he is pretty fast. Look at that. It's the champion behind him, Adam Tierney, sitting in second.
Yeah, he's been the only one in practice and in qualifying to even get past the 2-minute plateau. Everyone's been essentially in the 2 minutes to 2:02 range for the top 20, except for him. He was able to get a 1 minute 59 seconds and 0.6 of a second lap in practice alone. And now, of course, with the qualifying, 0.3 slower, but that helps him, of course, get on this pole and give him a little bit of space. Josh Thompson, obviously prepared for this one.
Let's go to the grid right now. It's Josh Thompson, Adam Tierney in the first row. How about this? Rookie Harrison Fitch making up row 2 inside our top tier 2 driver, Ty McLeod. Jean-Francois Godin and Phil Reed make up row 3. Renee Osterkamp, Christoph Holstein go 7th and 8th, 9th and 10th. Christian DeCatch and Jonas Vastamaki. Justin?
Following them off in row number 6 is Patrick Kessler and Ivan Erme. As well in row number 7, it'll be Eurimir Morik and Uridan de Quattrell. Now, Daniel Morris follows them in row number 8, followed by Stefan Herman. Row number 9, Mark Usher and Jerry Mojak. Stephen Larkamp and Alexander Waldrow wrap out the top 20.
Then the final 6 drivers, Tom Van Human, Alexis Meriloso, Casper Thron, the Orange Viking, Knut Martinson, Sarah Dove putting in a qualifying time last, really slow for her today. In 25th, one driver did not put in a qualifying time, Andrew Greenhall. Okay, there you have it. 26 drivers out on the grid. The Tierney has reigned all season long, and of course I'm talking about Adam Tierney, who sits in second right now on the grid, but he is well up in the points, and he has locked up your championship. Congratulations to Adam, picking up his first AOR Formula Renault 2.0 championship, but he'd like to close out the season with a win. Josh Thompson, as much as he'd like to see Adam have a exit out of this season, I think Josh Thompson has other ideas as he sits on the pole, almost 0.2 of a second faster than the current champion. Harrison Finch has been impressive. He is our top rookie. We've been watching him come through. He sits in third. And those from the Audubon Society, if you're looking for the other feathered driver, Sarah Dove in 25th. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And Josh Thompson leads the Stampede down into the first left-hander that is one. Duck into the inside, trying to challenge for second, and I think he's going to get it. It is Harrison Finch. That pushes Tierney into third. Tierney fights back, and as they go through 3, 4, and 5 turn, he gets back second. Finch back to third. McLeod and Phil Reed round out your top 5.
Yeah, we already got trouble meanwhile, as this is going to be Patrick Kessler hitting the barrier.
We'll come back to it, yeah. Kessler was turned. We'll come back and get that on replay. We'll follow the lead lap action. Until then, I can report, though, that it was Decourtel that got into him. Meanwhile, as we look at our leaders, it is Josh Thompson starting to pull away, being pressured for second. Tierney, Finch, McLeod. Let's drop 7th position. How about Holstein a little bit farther back? You see that blue car. There's a train back there. Holstein, Osterkamp to catch. Back to catch side by side with Vastamaki right now for 10th. That's Vastamaki on the camera right. To catch camera left, and Vastamaki gets the pass made. Let me correct myself. That's to catch. You got the pass made on Vastamaki. Oh, and he spins off.
And that is the Cats who has spun out. I did mention if you hit that gas pedal, you'll end up spinning if you press it too hard, and now that's going to lose him just about almost every spot he can at this point on the first lap.
They have tire warmers, and the tire startup is a little easier than it was in past season, but I think maybe that's a little bit too much gas too early on. Our leader now working his way through 19, heading to the final corner of the lap. He's going to comfortably lead the first lap. That is Josh Thompson. He's opened up a 2-second gap over Tierney. Let's stay on this battle for a second before we go to the replay that we saw Kessler have trouble. This is Tierney holding off. Watch Finch, see if he has enough run to get it done. Not going to put, boy, he's closing, not going to get it done into one. In fact, Tierney almost takes a little tighter line in there to defend that spot.
And not wanting to give up any inch right now for position in the early going here, as you can see. Very close behind now. Finch trying to find that hole in Tierney. I think right now he's going to have to try and as you've seen there, try and finally find a way to dive it in there without making it a bonsai move, as McLeod's making somewhat of a bonsai move right now.
And McLeod almost got into the back of Finch. Let's go to the replay here that was Kessler and Decourtel that happened on the first lap. You'll see Kessler out in front, and I just saw it briefly, but it looked like Decourtel got into him, turned around, Kessler went off. I think he got some wall. We'll see.
Yeah,
look at that. Look at that bee's nest. He almost goes over.
Yeah, Kessler lucky to keep on going. He got back going and had to go into the pits already. A 9.4-second stop way far back. You see the spin once again, just smashing that front nose right off. And meanwhile, Finch is just taking second.
Yeah, I think Finch is in a hurry. He sees that they're starting to pull away. In fact, Tierney has dropped back now to 4th position, and he is being pressed by Phil Reed. They are 2 by 2 as they work through 15 right now. The car out in front is Finch. McLeod has now moved up into 3rd. Tierney has dropped from 2nd back to 4th, and now he's back to 5th, as here comes Phil Reed. Reed, a former champion, moves in front of the not yet crowned champion of Adam Tierney. Back behind him, another champion, Jean-Francois Godard.
Yeah, everyone's staying single file, using the pole on each other at this point as they go through down the front stretch. Already trying to get some speed. No one wanting to break their way out in case it opens up a door. McLeod having to dig in there very deep, as you see there. Reed right behind him.
Let's give you the interval now from Finch to the leader after Finch was able to get around Tierney. My goodness, it is 4 seconds, but he has nobody in front of him now, so the rookie can try to run down Josh Thompson. Usually we like to go back through the field, but the racing right now, the action, Justin, is all up front with this train that goes all the way back to Vastamaki in 9th.
Yeah, right now everyone really sticking together so far, trying to wait for that one mistake as you're seeing here. Just all possibly trying to work together and say, okay, can we somehow catch up to Thompson together? As you see Finch taking a bit of a higher line, bit of a dive in there from McLeod, because McLeod is also trying to move his way through the field. You see the lap times, for example, that Finch was just barely faster than McLeod the last time by just a 10th. And it looks like they are just about even in terms of pace so far. Trying to make that car handle well, as you see Finch moving to the defensive line already as McLeod's on the outside.
Yeah, Finch came in. This is a great passing zone into 12. He's able to hold him up, gets a pretty good run out of 12, and that bottles up That bottles up McLeod a little bit now, and now Reed trying to get in there. Reed is side by side as they go into 15. I think it's going to be McLeod with the preferred position as they twist back and forth, left and right. Look at Reed all over the back of McLeod. Ty able to hang on. Boy, that Tier 2 driver having a great run right now. The nearest competition for him for a Tier 2 driver is back in 9th. Jonas Vastamaki. McLeod having a good points day.
Yeah, that's good for him so far already at the start of this race as well for the rookie class driver Harrison Finch, where Finch is starting to get some distance now on McLeod after those past few couple turns. You're seeing right now in 7th, Renier Osterkamp right now. Everyone just trying. No one, I think, is going to really take a risk quite yet with it still being very early on in this race.
Justin, keep your eyes up front. I'm going to go back to 11th position, see if we can highlight some of these guys. Give a yell out of action breaks out. Evan Rolling Thunder Imre back there. Remember, he is your Tier 2 champion right now, or leader in the points, racing in 11th position. He's being hounded by Lubomir Morris. That's the rookie who's come in and been very impressive. Stefan Herman back there as well in 13th. Those cars run about, almost a second and a half behind the car up in 10th. Drop a little bit farther back. Descartes that had the contact with Kessler earlier, racing in 14th. 15th and 16th is Yuri Morris. And then here's a guy way farther back. Not sure what's going on here. Mark Usher, not the speed that we would expect out of him today as he races in 16th.
Yeah, right now it's just been a pretty calm race so far on a nice cool day as you see at the track. So with Usher in 16th, Steven Larkamp is the next closest car back, 1.3 seconds back. You're seeing the 3-car tandem right now. Now looking to set the pass is Morik on Orme right here on the inside, on the right side, I should say, as they dive into the turn. Morik having to skid his tires, in fact, still able to get the pass.
Nicely done. And now you see Imre struggling as he's in that. There's Imre in the yellow and blue car, working up.
Yeah, you see a lot of tire smoke as these drivers try and dig it into these corners. Right now, that is kind of how Phil Reed has now made a pass for 3rd spot, by the way, on Ty McLeod. As McLeod is starting to drop back in the field. Now on the pass is Goldan on the inside, as you see, able to get the inside for the corner and getting a little bit of help, actually, Gordan in Tierney. They are now 3 wide.
Here comes the flying Frenchman, Jean-Francois Godin on the inside. They go 3 wide into 1. Can the Frenchman get it wound up? He does. He keeps it on the track. It's a twofer for him. He gets Tierney and he gets McLeod. McLeod fighting back, though, because that tight line that Godin had to take really ruined his corner exit speed. They are 2 by 2, and McLeod gets the spot back. He moves to 4th. All this going on behind Phil Reed, as once he's got around, he's left him behind 1.5 seconds back to the driver in 4th. Reed now trying to run down Finch, who was in 2nd.
Yeah, and with all that action, Tierney had to check up a little bit and drop back to 7th spot with all that, with all the shuffling as you see there. And you see the view there of Phil Reed trying to keep on the back bumper of Finch, or the back wing of Finch, I should say. But things now settling back down. I think right now he just wants to say to himself, I want to be in 2nd spot and try to make a run on Thompson myself.
Yeah, I can see this camera angle. I think he's close enough. He'll be slowly run him down. Our leader just getting into the twisty section now, and here comes the drivers in 2nd and 3rd. They get into 12. Let's stay on this, and you can really see how this track weaves back and forth. First the left-hander, then the right-hander into 13th, about 180 degrees all the way around. 13 and 14, they call it 2 corners, it's really 1. Then another sharp corner into 15 that brings you right back the way you were going again. And then this long carousel-like right-hand sweeper, 16, 17, and 18 as they go around here in those Formula Renaults.
Yeah, and after all those twists and turns, it's Finch who got about now a 10th of a second gap really coming into turn number 20, as you see here, as Reed's been able to close in about a 10th or 2 per long straightaway in the draft, but with these technical turns, he hasn't had the time really to close that said gap up. So you can see now entering that turn 1 situation, Reed having to actually botch the entry a slight touch, dropping now to half a second behind and growing.
Oh, we have big contact. Let's go to Knut Martinsen. Is this recent? He got bumped off. That was Tom Van Humen got into him. Might be a little far. We're going to look and see if we can find it. We found it. Here we go. That's Human on the inside. The orange Viking. Kmart on the outside. He comes in. He makes... This not be it. We might be too far. This might be after it. Yeah. They are racing together. It was a little farther back. They had fallen back. Those two have fallen back to 24th. After the spin, they came out together. So we're not able to get that brought to you right there. Oh, we think we got it. Here we go. Here's the mess.
Now you can see here weaving in and out with those left and rights, and then Martinsen on the right side, then bam, side touch with the two tires, both of them spinning around. And now we're going to see on board of Dove right here with the situation.
Yeah, she had a real good view of this one and just opened up. She goes right through. Fortunately, they get out of the way for her. The car was going pointed in that direction. Nice job from Sarah now. Not have the qualifying that she would have liked, but she has worked her way up to 20th position.
It's good for her so far. Van Humen, though, from that incident we've seen, had to go in the pits. Meanwhile, just to update you on that front battle going on with Finch, Phil Reed is having some issues. He's been skidding around into the turn entries for now 2 of the past 5 corners, which now he's in the clutches now of Ty McLeod. As you can see him, he's having a poorly handling car, it seems, all of a sudden, because he is just sliding it into the corners with a lot of smoke and a lot of lockup.
Boy, and he totally missed the apex there into 1. Maybe used up his tires trying to run down Finch. Used up his stuff. May have to cool it off a little bit, but he has fallen back into the clutches of McLeod. And how about Rene Oosterkamp in 5th now? He has worked his way up a couple spots, got around Tierney and Godin. We saw Godin making a move. Godin has fallen back as well. Justin, that battle there from 3rd to 9th is kind of stretched out a little bit, a little tighter earlier. Now it's a little farther apart. Vastamaki has made it up into 9th, Holstein back into 10th. That's a good Dougie Beard camera shot. You can see them all spaced out.
Yeah, you can see there with Vastamati, pardon me, you can see, because as this race is going on, it's gonna, a lot of these times you can't just keep on drafting on because there's only the 2 on straightaways. That has led to, as you see here, who's the better of the technical turn drivers for the gap right now, which has led to this starting to space out a bit between 7th and 8th spot, as you've seen on your screen. And now, still with the cars that are still closed up, it's leading to battles as Oosterkamp had to very closely cut in there, bumping off with the left front.
This is the best battle on the track now. Oosterkamp in the Swiss cheese colored car is going to go side by side. McLeod has the preferred position. McLeod's going to be able to hold on. Tierney back there looking for a way around. Tierney's racing with house money right now. He knows that if he crashes the car, he's already got the championship locked up. There's a drop race in his future. He can have some fun. But a nice 4-car battle. The caboose is Godin, Tierney. Oosterkamp is the cold car, and the engine is McLeod.
Yeah, right now that's a 4-car train at this point with these guys in their Formula Renaults. Just trying to get the edge. You can see McLeod probably in the clutches now of Oosterkamp, because Oosterkamp got a big-time draft off that to dive into turn number 1. Able to get it in there. You can see He wants that spot, having to slide it in, and that's not going to get him the spot. In fact, it's going to lose him the spot and possibly another.
Yeah, whatever speed he made up coming in, he loses on the corner exit, and also gave Tierney a chance to maybe think about getting that spot. Lesson learned, though. Oosterkamp can try that again later. We are now racing with 25 to go, probably in the pit window right now. None of the leaders have come in. Let's stay on this battle, though. There's a lot of good battles going on, but this is a nice one we're looking at right here. And now as they come up, they're going to come into 11. This is a real sharp left-hander. And then down the long straight, and it is a straight between 11 and 12. We'll see if they make a move into 12. And go to look at where is, Jean-Francois, the Flying Frenchman. He had a bad exit out of 11, and that's going to cost him. Not only going to lose that position, here comes Holstein. Boy, Justin, you make a mistake on 11 and you pay for it for a long time.
Yeah, you definitely do, because not only do you risk hitting the wall with the mistake, but you also lose a lot of your momentum on the exit, with it being the longest straightaway on the track. So Gordon's going to be having to fight back, trying to get back to where he is. He's now back in 8th because of that. And so he's going to have to try and get back to where he was 9th, pardon me, as you see the battle right now with McLeod.
Osterkamp able to get around McLeod. And now a good run from Tierney. Remember, Tierney started in 2nd position, has fallen back. He'd like to get those spots back. But now Osterkamp can maybe see if he can make a run. He's got Phil Reed ahead of him. Phil Reed, after he was on the tail of Finch, has fallen back. We'll see if Reed can run down Finch again. All this going on behind our leader, who has nearly a 10-second lead. That is, oh yeah, Josh Thompson. I remember him.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. He's been able to hit his marks as well as he has so far in this race. You see him weaving in and out of those turns right now, and his machine just, it shows what consistency you need to have at this kind of track at COTA, a very technical track with its mix of speed. But as I mentioned, you can't just rely on the speed on the straightaways. You have to be good at the technical turns too. That is why Thompson, I think, has in part pulled away to such a big lead with those technical corners, as you see Ermac pulling out of the pits.
And there he comes. That's our first legitimate driver who's come in for a legitimate pit stop as Emre comes on out. Quickly, before the pit stops, let's go to 17th overall. Give a shout out to our hard charger. He didn't put in a qualifying time. I'm talking about Andrew Greenhall. Greenhall racing back there all by himself. He's about 6.5 seconds ahead of Baldo, about 3 seconds behind Stefan Larkamp. Would like to give a shout out to a job well done from Andrew. He's a rookie.
Some pretty good rookies in this field. Yeah, Finch, who is classified as rookie, and then the next rookie back that for the classification is currently Stefan Herman, who's all the way back in 11th. So we got some cars that are really battling for season points in this top 20 still at the moment.
Let's look at this battle for 12th. This is Jeroen de Cortel. Remember, he got into it earlier with Patrick Kessler. Kessler had to call it a day. Cortel was able to soldier on. He's in a battle with Lubomir Morris. This is a battle for 12th. Morris, a rookie, has been very impressive. Morris qualified in 13th, racing 1 spot ahead of that. Cortel, on the other hand, is up a spot as well. They're about a second. They're trying to close in on Stefan Herman, a rookie in 11th. Not sure if they're going to be able to get them. We'll keep an eye on that one as well.
Yeah, right now you can see Herman has better acceleration down the straights, I think. As we got a problem.
We'll look here. Tierney has had an issue. We'll watch it with you.
Now let's see exactly what happened. You can see right back there, trying to work on the draft, diving into turn number 1, and then, yeah, you can see just car there, had hit the gas trying to get on the exit, spun it around, still keeping on going, minimized any potential damage. He's still in 6th.
Falling back now, Yunus Vastamaki is in 7th. He's got a chance to run him down, Holstein and Godin. Remember, Godin was also racing much farther up till he made a mistake. Corner 1, that's been tough. The drivers can get in there deep.
Yeah, they can.
They go in there.
Pardon me.
Like my dad used to, let's watch here. Here's Tierney being challenged by Vastamaki. In fact, Tierney's going to take the defensive line, make Jonas go around the top side as they go into 12. Let's see if Vastamaki can keep the momentum as he forces Tierney to the inside. They come around. What? There's the momentum that I thought. Now here's where if you can hang in there, now you're in the preferred position through 13th, and he can finish the deal. Let's move Vastamaki up into 6th. And the man on his way to the Season 7 championship, Adam Tierney, drops back into 7th.
You know who did the exact same move in the exact same situation, which got him a spot? Francois Godin. And now up to a spot 2, getting the pass on Holstein on the exact same situation right behind the two of them.
Yeah, let's stay up. Let's move up to Vastamaki and Tierney, because I think we're going to see the same situation out of 20. This was what my dad used to call white rabbit racing, where a driver would be, he's late to an important break. You know, you're Lewis Carroll. Let's see if Tierney tries to brake late again like he did the last time. Nope, not going to happen. But Doug comes up into the mix and Holstein now.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Tierney. You've seen there with the different apex on the entry, a wider entry leading to a deeper exit. That still kept him on the back wing of Västermäki. And you can see it is working dividends, still keeping up for the most part here through these quick left and rights.
We'll stay on it again. We'll see what happens. They go through 11. Remember, Västermäki was able to make the pass last time going into 12 when Tierney went defensive. Let's see if there's any lessons learned right now. Meanwhile, Västermäki starting to pull away and Tierney having to play defense on Godard. I think Tierney's too far back to get up to Västermäki. I think right now he's going to have to think again, am I going to try to play defense like I did last time? It didn't work out before. Let's see if Godard's going to force the issue. Looks like Tierney's going to stay to the outside this time. Is Godard going to dive it down in there? He gets a run. It might be a little bit too late. He's going to have to wait one more lap.
I think that's exactly what he's trying to do, position himself to be in a good spot to make the pass, because it does, as we've seen in a lot of situations, take time to make passes. Godin, you can see, though, does not want to wait right now. He wants to try and peek his way. You see him go to the right side for a second. But now we'll see how this goes through this kink right here.
And you can see up ahead, if you look, you can see the cars just ahead of these guys. There's a battle going on for third. It is Reed and Oosterkamp. Oh, Oosterkamp has called it off. I think Oosterkamp knew he was faster, but he couldn't get around Phil Reed. Says, if I can't pass you out on the track, I'll do it in the pits. So here comes the driver racing in fourth. Comes on in, René Oosterkamp. Also coming in, Tierney and Morris.
Yeah, both of them diving it right on in, going the speed limit to get their fuel here. Of course, if you have no wing damage, it's going to be a quick 4-second, maybe 5-second stop. Right now, for Oosterkamp, 4.9 second stop, 4.6 for Morris. And Tierney, he's going to finish up with a 4.4.
That's going to put the pressure on Phil Reed to come in and get a nice, clean stop.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, in fact, pulled into the lap for that lap. The Cartel having the longest stop by far so far with a 12.5 in this cycle with wing damage. You see Jerry Mojak coming right on out as well with a 5.6. 5.2 for Herman. So a lot of different drivers potentially playing around with the amount of fuel they're going to be putting in here for the feature race to try and get themselves up near the front.
26 drivers took the grid. 25 are still on the lead lap. The only one we've lost, Alexis Merloso, he is 10 laps down. Also on the lead lap, that includes Patrick Kessler, who nosed it into the wall. He's racing in 22nd right now, 1 minute and 10 seconds behind the leader, but he just wants to stay on the lead lap. I believe he'll have one more stop to make, but so does our leader, Josh Thompson. So Kessler, that's one of the things, Justin, about this the format here. If you have a bad feature race, you can make it all up with a good sprint.
Yeah, that's the good thing I think about this series too, to give those second chances really, and to as well add to the excitement really to when that field's going to be inverted for that sprint race. For the sprint race, I should say, as you see, for a lot of drivers, it can make the difference, because right now Josh Thompson's still 11 seconds in front. You see right now in second, Finch, third, Reed, fourth, McLeod, as right now in fifth, Västermäki going to bring it in.
And our driver from second, Harrison Finch, has decided to come in. Now, Finch had a pretty comfortable lead ahead of Oosterkamp. Unless Finch has a real problem here as he nestles the car into the pit lane. Don't want to see that car going up on the jacks. It looks, oh my goodness, he's on the jacks and his stop is 7.2 seconds. This could give Oosterkamp a chance to get there. Where is René? René is just crossing the start-finish line now. Finch is out. He's out in front, but the gap is not as big as it was before. 2.7 seconds from Finch back to Oosterkamp.
Yeah, right now, I'm wondering if the strategy was either he forgot to tick off the box for the front tires, or decided, I've been racing too hard, I may as well get front tires just as a precaution, or potentially just the wing, because if you do have the damage, it's mandatory wing repair damage.
Well, that's good news for Phil Reed. Reed had, first of all, he had to worry, boy, I need to get out in front of Osterkamp. Now Phil Reed maybe has a thought about, maybe I can get out in front of Finch for second. Not 8 cars yet to come in. Thompson, Reed, McLeod, Godin, Holstein, Morris, and that is Lubomir Morris, Usher, and Larkamp.
And
John,
right, pardon me. You go ahead.
Josh Thompson out in front with absolutely no lap cars in front of him. So our leader can just race along as long as he wants, bring it in whenever he feels like. My guess is he'll try to keep that car out until the gas tank is as empty as a syrup bottle after a pancake social. He'd like to do wire to wire. Doesn't want to surrender the lead lap while he's in pit lane. Josh Thompson, wire to wire is always a nice way to do it.
Oh, and Reed, I think, just hit the wall. I mentioned that tire lockup. He has just smacked the right side of his car very hard on that entry.
Go on board.
You see here entering turn number 20, diving it in. Possibly made a last-second decision and slid hard into the wall, damaging the wing tire, possible damage to the right side tires.
I talked about pancakes, but what he did was pancake the right side of his car. And Justin, you talked about it in the countdown to green, how tricky that pit entrance is, that it winds in there, that left hand, you got to get it wound up. I think this Reed was in a hurry. Probably listening to the broadcast and thinking, my goodness, I can catch Finch, I can catch Osterkamp.
Yeah, now he's in the pits for a very long time getting these repairs. He's going to drop right back in the field, really. 36 seconds at least now on a stop. Josh Thompson still now with an extremely commanding lead, in part because of that, to 18 seconds instead of just 10.
Yeah, the only way for Reed to take some of the sting out of that mistake is if he could get the car back out and finish on the lead lap. I don't think so, as he has been in there for an awfully long time now. That's a sad way for Phil, who's going to be stepping away for a while to recharge his batteries. He made a post in there, says how much he loves racing, and he still loves the car. Just needs to get away from it for a bit so he can get that competitive, the thirst back, that hunger for winning, for racing, for practicing. And Justin, as competitive as our leader comes in, as competitive as this series is, if really it all comes down to how much practice time you can put in. If you can't put in the practice time, it's going to be hard to be competitive, especially with the talent the way it is. Here comes Josh Thompson.
Yeah, and Josh Thompson, as you said, trying to stretch that out as much as he can with about 12 minutes to go in the feature race. McLeod following him right on in. And where did McLeod go? And he has hit the wall.
Again, and now he's going to try to back his car into pit lane. He's getting in the way. That's Holstein had to actually stop while McLeod was negotiating his car out of the way.
Yeah, and you can see just hitting the gas too hard after going around the bend, I think, hitting that front wing. And now I think his race is in the similar situation to Phil Reed's now.
Now, this is very interesting. I talked about wire to wire as we look at McLeod. Jean-Francois Godin has stayed out. He's going to go a lap longer than Josh Thompson, but I'm not sure if he's going to get credit with leading a lap. Oh, here's a spin.
And I think right now staying out is becoming a dangerous situation because Andrew Greenhall just spun around. He is one of those cars who have not pit yet in 10th spot right now. You see him get back going, spinning around in a 360. But I think at this point, yes, you need the fuel, but as well, it's starting to get to where you need to start thinking about pitting now before that happens to you in the lead.
Right in front of Adam Tierney. We look at Greenhall. We talked about him being our hard charger.
And still, even with that, he's still in 10th still behind Holstein now at 9th.
Some of that will shake out a bit. Josh Thompson is in second. Jean-Francois Godin is our leader by about maybe a corner or two. But remember, the Frenchman, actually Godin is a French-Canadian, he'll need to come in for a stop. This will be interesting if iRacing scores this, if he's able to get into pit lane and cross the start-finish line first ahead of Thompson and get credit with leading a lap. He did not get credit with leading the last lap. Here he comes now. He negotiates the corner. Thompson is now through the final corner. COTA is at pit road speed. There goes Thompson by. And COTA does get credit with leading a lap. Congratulations to Jean-Francois.
Yeah, good for him, and now he's got to get that fuel as quick as he can because Thompson is now essentially on his own right now, and Harrison Finch zooming right on by as he gets his fuel. Put 4.2 seconds on the stop.
Finch is by as well as his Oosterkamp. COTA gets it out. I believe he's going to come out ahead of... Nope, Tierney's going to get him as well. In fact, look at that. Tierney comes out just ahead of Jean-Francois. A battle for fourth.
Yeah, Tierney was right there as he was exiting the pits and did the crossover move on the exit of turn number 1 to get that spot. And now you can see him starting to slightly pull away through these weavings in and outs right now, but Godin does not want to see him go away.
Before we do our rundown, let me tell you the two drivers who are out of the race. Of the 26 that started, we talked about Alexis Mariloso being out. Phil Reed, you can add to it after he made that pit entry mistake. He's going to, at least he's one lap down right now. Doesn't look like he's going to be bringing him back out.
Time Cloud is also out of it as well because he had to use a tow and has officially put it into the garage area for that incident for the pit entry. So grand total essentially of 3 cars now out of this race, and what has been essentially a very competitive field and race overall.
Patrick Kessler just took his second stop. Remember, he had to take one early to get damage repaired, so he's come out. So with that all said and done, let's go ahead and run down. We'll see, maybe we can get the whole field run down right now. I'll take the top 10. Your leader right now in front is Josh Thompson. Thompson, my goodness, about 14 seconds ahead of rookie Harrison Finch. Finch is not out of the woods yet, as Oosterkamp is right behind him. Renee, qualified in 7th, is up 2 spots and has a chance to run down Finch. Well, back in 4th is Adam Tierney. He had fallen as far back. My notes show him as 7th. He's come up a couple spots. Right behind him, Jean-Francois COTA. Then a quiet 6th place from Yunus Vastamaki. Vastamaki going into corner number 1 right now. Followed by Christoph Holstein in 7th. Haven't talked much about him. He qualified in 15th, up 7 spots, racing 8th. That's Daniel Morris. Has about a 5-second lead on Stefan Herman. Herman comfortably 2 seconds ahead of rookie Lubomir Morris. And then Justin, that'll send it back to the driver in 11th, which is surprisingly slow today.
Yeah, Mark Usher right now currently on his own right now. 2 seconds behind him is Jerome DeCotel at this point. Both of them having some fairly slow days overall. And now behind them in 13th is Steven Larkamp at the moment from the rookie class. We have something going on, P2.
Here he comes. On the outside is Oosterkamp. On the inside is Finch. They go into 12. We've seen this before. If Finch can close the door, he does, but Oosterkamp gets a good drive off. Now they'll come into the right-hander. That is Finch trying to keep position. We'll stay on this one. Oosterkamp is all over the tail of Finch right now into 15. Now the sweeping right-hander coming up. That is 16, 17, and 18. Let's stay on it for a minute. Oosterkamp back there in the SimRC painted machine. That kind of Swiss cheese colors Finch out in front. We ride looking over the left front of Oosterkamp. The veteran, Finch, the rookie. Finch has been coming on stronger and stronger. Now, Justin, it all depends what kind of drive can they get off of 20, because this is a pretty good straight here, and I like the position of Oosterkamp. I think he might have chance if he wants to push the issue into 1. 2 car lengths. 1 car length, here he comes. Is he going to dive it in there? Not this time. He knows there's 5 minutes left. Whoa! He got him. Now a little bit loose. I'm going to take a little bit of the responsibility on Finch. It looks like Finch got the car sideways, and Oosterkamp kind of T-boned him.
Now let's take a look at the replay here, because I don't know. I think Finch at the last moment might have seen him poking his nose under and trying to go for the block and just got spun there, but not expecting the bonsai move from Oosterkamp for the position. But it is late in the race. You have to make those kind of moves. We'll see what it is once again here from Oosterkamp's point of view.
When I initially saw it, it looked like Finch had lost momentum. Boy, but it sure doesn't look that way on that one. I think Finch could, might be saying, Soup, what are you looking at?
Either way, Oosterkamp still running pretty well here on his own. That put Finch all the way back to third, with possibly a tiny bit of damage here and there. Tierney behind him in fourth. Godin in fifth.
Yeah, these Formula Renaults 2.0s are not noted for being able to take a punch. And here comes Tierney as they work down into 12. Tierney's going to get this one done easily, I think. Nope. A little dipsy-do, a little hokey-doke, a little up and under from Tierney. Not going to happen as they go down into 13. Love the way that COTA swings back and forth. And there can be passes made in here if you can get a run. Oh, almost getting into the back, and he has to get on the binders was Tierney, and Godin almost got into him as well. Great racing going on here for third. Finch, I think, up there in the wounded machine. Look at the run now from the French-Canadian in the red, white, and blue car behind. Not going to get it done. Now coming back. Oh, I think this is all done. Adam Tierney licking his chops right now.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a similar situation to what we've seen the last lap on turn one. Tierney just having to get the draft and dive it into the inside. You see Finch with the block. Big time block.
Boy, he makes him take. Look at this. Now look at this corner exit speed here. That was some great racecraft from Finch. He said, if you're going to go to the inside of me, you are going to go to the inside of me. And that's what Tierney tried to do. Tierney got to the quarter one first, but Finch had the preferred line, was able to drive by him. Oh, this is some fun stuff.
Yeah, just blocking him all the way just about into the grass on that position to turn one, and now Tierney has to do it all over again to position himself to be in the same situation again with the clock ticking down more and more here. Godin in the popcorn seat, as some people may call it at this point, trying to keep behind. You see Tierney, I think he actually hit the back of him.
Yeah, he did. Give him a little hello, and that's going to ruin his momentum. And now here comes Godin. I think Godin's got a real good shot at getting him. Look at the line that Tierney takes. Tierney's going to go defensive. Godin might be able to finish the job even before they get to 12 with a good run from the French-Canadian out there in that blue, white, and red machine on the outside. Tierney on the inside. They go into 12. Who's going to be able to break later? They break at the same time. Watch the momentum coming around. The red, white, and blue car has it. Is there any room to put it? I think he's going to dive it in there. And a little bit of a tap. And he turns him. Godin loses the position. And talk about the popcorn. Vastamaki, salted and buttered. He gets fourth position.
My goodness, we have to see this replay right here. You can see Tierney just getting clipped around by Godin. Godin immediately apologizing for that situation twice over now. That's Tierney, of course, all but securing the championship. It's a good situation for him. And now Godin's in seventh, and Tierney still in front of him in sixth.
Okay. Finch is back there saying, thank you so much, John Francois, because I think Tierney was going to run him down. So now Finch is in third, Vastamaki in fourth, Holstein in fifth, Tierney in sixth.
Yeah, and this is less than a minute to go here. This could possibly be the last lap, if not the last lap here, Bill, because you can see, I think right now there's a difference between aggressive and getting yourself to the finish line.
Yeah.
Right now, I think people are saying, let's be aggressive. Who cares about the finish line? The finish line's an imaginary thing, I said sarcastically.
I don't believe we are on the white flag lap yet. I think we have one more. So if that's the case, Director, we can go ahead and show the Mark Usher replay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we think that, okay, we can't do it because this is the white flag lap we're thinking.
Yeah, because you see that clock ticking down, 3, 2, 1, 0, white flag. Right now, for Thompson, he is way on his own here because of the way he's been driving 16 seconds away.
So with that said, let's go to our leader. My gosh, has he been racing out there? He's had about probably 10 seconds of screen time the whole race. Josh Thompson working through 19, working through 20. This is the final feature race of season number 7. From the Circuit of the Americas, give it to Josh Thompson. Renee Osterkamp is going to get second. See if we can find a battle out there. It looks like the top 5 pretty well set.
Harrison Finch, though, even with the contact situation, with the damage, still able to hold on to the podium here.
So I scroll back to see if there's a battle. Let's go back. How about to 12th position? We haven't talked much about Stefan Larkamp. Trying to run him down is the rookie Jerry Mojak.
And Larkamp gonna able to hang on here, able to get the 12th place finish.
Yep.
And that is a nice strong run from him, finishing off the race in 11th.
We're gonna go to 18th position real quick. This is a nice battle. We haven't heard much from Kmart, Knut Martinsen, and have heard nothing from Casper Thron as they work into the final corner and now down the main straight. Martinsen is going to get credited if he gets across the line. What's going on here, boys? There we go. Martinsen gets 18th. Thron is going to get 19th. And let's jump back to the man who might start on the pole if he has the intestinal fortitude to do it. That's the man in 22nd right now, Tom Van Humen.
Yeah, you can see Tom Van Humen having to go in 3 times into the pits after his incident. Good on him to keep going and basically put himself in a great position for the sprint.
Sarah Dove is going to get credit for 20th. Oh, look at this. Look at Patrick Kessler. Patrick Kessler does not... That was interesting. Kessler stopped right before the finish line and did not cross as if he did not think he deserved to be on the lead lap. Not sure what's going on in Patrick's mind. Tom comes across. Van Humen in 22nd position. My timing and scoring showing Kessler getting credit for 21st. So maybe Kessler will be on the outside. You know what? The start-finish line, I misread it. It's earlier than what I was looking at. That's what the problem was on that one. That happens to me sometime. Okay, what we're going to do right now, I've said it once. I've said it 12 times this season. The best part of any doubleheader event is the break between the races. It's the perfect blend of a post-race high and a pre-race jitters. At this point, GSRC is going to step away for just a moment, but we will return to the break in between the feature and sprint races to run down the entire feature race. That results just finished up and talk to a few of the drivers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Season 7 finale of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship from COTA. Time to run down the finishing order of the feature race that just concluded. Well, it wasn't quite wire to wire. He missed it by one lap, and that is Josh Thompson, but he was certainly the dominant driver. Good news is he gets the win. Bad news is he will be regrid in the 22nd position, but we talked about it in the countdown to green. This is the place where Peter Don't Pay the Berryman was able to do the double last season. Can Josh Thompson do the same? We'll find out in just a few minutes. Renee Osterkamp comes home in second. Harrison Finch was really having a great run, had a little bit of an incident there, but he was able to salvage a third-place finish. How about Yunus Vostamaki from 10th to 4th? Great run from him. We'll talk from him in just a minute. Christoph Holstein and Adam Tierney go 5th and 6th. 7th, 8th, and 9th, Jean-Francois Godin, Daniel Morris, Stefan Herman, a nice run from him, and rookie Lubomir Morris in 10th. Justin?
Drum D Cartel finished it off in 11th spot, followed by Stephen Larkamp as we followed him along for his 12th place finish. Behind him was Yuri Mojek in 13th. Evan Emre, finished off in 14th, followed by Andrew Greenhall in 15th. Kristen Takats finished off in 16th, followed by Alexander Waldo. Nut Martinson also finishing off in 18th. Casper Thrang in 19th. Sarah Dove, who many people have asked about, finished off rounding out the top 20 in a great spot for the sprint.
Then the cars on the front row. What we think is going to be the early leader in the sprint race is going to be Patrick Kessler. Look for him to pull away. Look for Christian to catch, to try to get through the cars in front of him and try to run him down. But on the pole, again, if he's courageous enough to do it, it is Tom Van Human as he finishes in the double duck spot, the last car on the lead lap. Then the cars that got into trouble. Mark Usher just could never seem to get it going today. A very disappointing 23rd. Ty McLeod, Phil Reed, and Alexis Meriloso round out the 4 cars that did not finish on the lead lap. 26 cars entered, 22 finished on the lead lap, 22 will be regrid. And now let's talk to one of the drivers that had a great run. Let's go ahead and bring him in, one of our favorite interviews, and that is Yunus Vostamaki. Yunus, do you have a copy?
Yes.
Hey, congratulations. A nice run. You just kind of sat back there and let everything happen in front of you, and you passed a lot of cars as they were sideways.
Oh, yeah. I think, I overtook Takac into turn 1 and Holstein and Tierney by driving, and then Tierney got back past me, and then I just watched people spin and just took it home safely.
That was a nice battle up front, though. Thompson drove away, but the battle up front, 8 car train up front early on for the first many laps.
Yeah, all of the time in the train, I felt like I was faster than Holstein in front of me by just a little. But because of the train, it was obviously impossible to overtake because everyone had the same slipstream from the car in front, and it was very intense. Just had to sit back there and hope there isn't a big crash that you can't avoid. And luckily, it played out nice.
We saw a lot of mistakes into corner 1. People getting a good run, but not able to hold that inside line. It seemed like it was hard to get the car woed up if you tried an inside pass into 1.
Oh, yeah. Turn 1 is really not an overtaking opportunity unless you get a massive run from last corner, because it is, if you have to take the inside line with a dive bomb, it is so tight that it's really hard to keep the line, and you can just get better run from the outside line, which turns inside into turn 2, and then you are in front of the guy who tried to overtake you before the S's. So,
well, we'll let you go as we're going to try to talk to one more driver. Good luck as you're starting way back in the pack. You got a lot of drivers to get through. Bring it home safely.
Yeah, thanks. I'll just watch the carnage happen in front of me.
All right, there you go. Yunus Vostamaki, always a fun interview. Let's see if we can get one more. We'll quickly bring in Justin. Let's go ahead and talk to a fan favorite. We'll talk to Sarah Dove.
Sarah Dove, how are you after that race? And pardon me, we have a little bit of technical issues. Now she is on. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
And we have a new system here on Global Sim Racing Channel. Drivers trying to get used to it. Sarah, we still don't have a copy yet. I'll answer for... There she is. Now we got you.
How are you feeling about finishing off in that race, finishing in 20th on the overall grid, putting yourself in a good spot for the sprint?
Oh, she can't. No, she can't hear. That's too bad. She can talk, but she can't hear us. We're going to try one more thing. Hang in there. So we'll have to. What's Sarah? Let's talk about Sarah here a little bit. We'll see if we can be able for her to hear us.
I think the
there we go.
The Discord call is broken. Sorry.
That's okay, Sarah. Too bad she can't hear. One more time. You can't hear us. All right, let's move her out. We'll go ahead and talk to her a little bit. Oops, I'm not sure where we're going to. Okay, we got it taken care of. Sarah couldn't hear us. What is interesting, though, Justin, is that she is going to start inside of row 2. She's really competitive when it comes to racing. I would not be surprised to see her try to hang on to the back of Kessler, maybe even steal the lead up front and make Kessler work hard. It's going to be fun. We're going to see it all shake out for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel in just a while. 22 cars regrid. What we'll do right now is take a short break. We'll get all of our ducks in a row, but then we will be back and bring you the 25-minute sprint race. No pit stops, straight racing, inverted field, back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Season 7 finale of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship from COTA. The feature race is in the books, and now we get to the always exciting 25-minute sprint race. If you don't know what this is all about, Justin will tell it to you right now.
Yes, the sprint race details, of course. It is a 25-minute race, much shorter than the previous feature race, but the grid being inverted for the cars that finished on the lead lap in the feature race. Now, there are no pit stops required for this 25-minute sprint, but you do have a fast repair on hand if needed. The incident cap is also lower at 12 incident points, and the point standings are on a reduced amount of points for the sprint race. About 2/3 of them compared to the featured race is how much the sprint points are worth compared to the feature race points. Bill.
And Justin, you've been doing a little in-depth research, and I guess you've come up with some information about the point standings in relationship to a couple of former champions, Phil Reed and Jean-Francois Godin.
Yes, good thing to mention right there, because after that race and Reed finishing 25th, they are now tied for points in the overall standings with 253 total points. So right now, Godin in second, tied with Reed, in a great position. Meanwhile, Takats is currently in third. He is about 36 points back now of those two. So the top three could very much be entirely different right behind him, Tierney, by the end of the sprint race.
Yeah, 36 points, probably a little bit too much to make up from the sprint race being left over, but we'll certainly watch the difference between Godin and Reed as they both battle to see who is going to finish second behind Evan Emre, my apologies, behind Adam Tierney, who's going to be our overall champion. Sarah Dove came in to talk to us a little bit, wasn't able to hear us, but she did mention that a few things she wanted to say was she doesn't like this track much, and she spent most of their time racing around, couldn't see where she was going. I'm not sure why she couldn't see where she was going, but maybe it's just too short in the cockpit there. Give her a booster seat. I don't know.
I'm not even going to respond to that, but you can see Sarah Dove practicing. She's still in a good position for the sprint race, which, of course, with this inverted field, you're going to have a lot of calamity in some cases, I guess you can say. We're going to have to see how these drivers do, but we're discussing this a little bit, some of the drivers to really watch for, especially the guys on the front row for this sprint, like Van Humen in a good situation, and a good sprint driver as well, someone who had an incident at the start of the last race, who is now up after his incident. You're going to have pretty much a lot of drivers in a good situations. Patrick Kessler being one of those people.
I think it's going to break down to two things. I'd look for Kessler to get out early. Look for Sarah Dove to try to hang on to the back of Kessler and maybe even get the lead as those two battle out. Then you're going to watch for Christian Takats. He's not that far behind him, inside of row 4. Look for him. If he can make short work of the guys in front of him, he should have the pace to run these guys down. But then all of this is said, when it's all said and done, you cannot forget, and we'd be remiss if we did do so, the dominance of Josh Thompson. If Thompson can somehow stay out of trouble, take his time, knock off a few of those drivers, get some clear track in front of them, then start picking them off one at a time after that, we could see a double. We saw it before. That doesn't happen very often. I think probably we've only seen it maybe 2 or 3 times since GSRC has been around covering these events. So Josh Thompson doing the double, certainly not out of the question when you consider, Justin, how dominant he was.
Yeah, with the way he went through these technical turns, I should say, he was just able to be in his own world, and there's the phrase, you race your own race. He was racing his own race. It was like a test session how far he was in front. But now he's got to work through this traffic now, which is going to be even more difficult. But we are now grading up.
Front row, it is Tom Van Humen, Patrick Kessler. Row 2, Casper Thon, Knut Martinson, Alexander Valdo, and Christian Takats make up row 3. Andrew Greenhall, he was good in the feature. Watch for him in 7th position. Evan Emre, Juri Mojak, and Stefan Larkamp in 10th. Justin?
Jerome D. Cartel is in 11th spot, followed by Lemire Morik. Stefan Herman follows him behind with Daniel Morris. Francois Gourdin in a good points position alongside Adam Tierney, Jonas Vastramaki along with Finch, René Osterkamp as well in that grouping, and Christoph Holstein in 17th.
Josh Thompson going to get 21st position. Somebody didn't come back to grid in front of him. Ty McLeod, Phil Reed, Alexis Mariloso, and Sarah Dove. The engines start to harmonize. The commentators get their GSRC commentators bonus for getting through the entire field. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows because Tom Van Heumen is out in front. Kessler on the outside working into corner number 1. He's going to have to back out. Van Heumen gets the car loose. He gathers it up. He's able to hold on. Dove now has moved into second, third, because no, it's Martinson in third. To catch in fourth, Thon in fifth. Sarah Dove is missing. Sarah Dove elected. We thought we were one driver off. Sarah decided that she did not have the feel for the track to start up front. She's going to start in the back.
And right now, as you can see all the carnage, Harrison Finch electing to go right back with Dove through the field. And chaos meanwhile through one of the turns. McLeod is around. Pardon me, not McLeod. It is Holstein who is around, pardon me.
Some real complaints going on out there. Some deity's name being evoked, and there you can see him turning around. The question is, though, how did that affect our feature race winner? Josh Thompson, where are you now? 16th position as we have a pass for the lead. And it took him a while, but Kessler has got there now. Kessler up in front. Look at Van Heumen fighting back. And we talked about it, Christian to catch. It did not take him long to get there. He is now racing in third. In fact, Van Heumen goes a little bit wide. To catch would like to make quick work of Van Heumen if he could. Kessler trying to make hay while the sun is shining, trying to pull away. He knows that Takash will be fast.
And right now, as you see them going into turn number 20 for the first lap, Kessler in that comfortable situation, and a few different drivers struggling with that exit. Not Martinson, and one of those drivers who lost a fair amount of time just on that one exit to spread out the field as he's going to get passed by Ermray.
I think that was maybe a bit of little team orders there, as those guys are both racing for first. Fissy diving in deeper than Confucius in a submarine. Oh my goodness, that was Andrew Greenhall. Woo, I thought he was going to get into both of the Force Fissy drivers, but somehow Greenhall makes it work.
Yeah, and Greenhall still on the back wing right now, trying to get the spot. Right now, Martinson, the one in front of him, he's going to be able to poke on the outside, but of course, it is one of those situations with the technical turns. It's very hard to position yourself in the line of momentum here, as he's probably just setting himself up for right about here for the turn to get into the straights.
We look at the battle for second right now. This is Takash who got to the inside. I believe he's going to get this pass done. He got it done between 10 and 11. Move Christian Takash up into second now. 1.1 second behind the man we expect to be out in front, Patrick Kessler. Oh, but not giving up is Van Heumen. Van Heumen coming back. He's going to have the inside into 12. He's a rookie. Can Takash trust him? So far, so good.
Seen a little bit of a wiggle there as Takash has to pull back, but you see chaos right behind them in the middle of the turns, 17, 18, 19. And Thompson is involved. Let's check out the replay.
We were worried about him getting through. And I think it all started with the spin up. Dick Hortel might have spun up in front, but slowed everybody down. And then we saw Mojek there, but that started it was Dick Hortel that came across loose going into one, and I think everyone started to check up a little bit. So yeah. Josh Thompson, how did that fare? Josh now racing, oh, he's back in 24th.
Yeah, all the way back there right now, and lucky to have minimal damage because you've seen him spin around in about a 180. Now in his own little world as Christian Takash, you're seeing up in second spot trying to hold off right now Van Heumen.
Tip of the hat to Tom. Nice job of racing from the rookie. And I apologize. I've been calling him a rookie, but apparently he is not. He's a Tier 2 driver. I guess he's been around for longer than I've realized.
And speaking of Thompson, by the way, he has now put in a toe down pit lane, so he is done for the sprint race.
That's what makes doing the double so improbable. You have to be fast, and you have to be lucky. Let's go to 5th position, 6th position right now. This is Martinson in a battle. Is that with his teammate? No, that's Descartes. Descartes gets the pass made. Now look, tuck it in there. That is Alexander Valdo. This is a great battle going on. Another car, that dark colored car. That's our in-between race interview. Jonas Vastamaki up to 8th position. He gets around Valdo, and now he has visions of getting the Force Fissy driver ahead of Martinson. Where are you going, Jonas? Gonna go 3 wide into 12. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll take 1. I'll take 2 scoops. But he can't get it wound up. And now Chocolate and Vanilla are fighting back. 3 wide through 13. It all settles down. Vastamaki moves up into 6. No, it's not done yet. Coming back to Descartes, but he can't get the drive off. Vastamaki able to fend it off for now. Don't give up on me yet, Soup, says Descartes. Martinson in 8th. Right behind him, Morris, Valdo in a mix. Great racing going on. Herman back there, Godin, McLeod. There's the move underneath. That was Valdo making the pass on Morris, but Morris gets the drive off. He's going to get him back. Watching the whole thing is Herman. Look at the run from Godin. Godin goes down to the inside. He gets 1. The French Canadian, is he going to get 2? He does. Is he trying to get 3? Not quite have the power off to get Morris.
Right now, going into these technical corners, I think you got to sort things out how you want to run. You don't want to run in back incident.
Herman was loose for an entire corner going into it. He gets into Larkamp. You can just watch Herman. I'm not sure if he had a tank slapper or just couldn't figure out his racing line. Watch Herman on the inside. The car just, you can see him start to work there and it's gone, and boom, he gets into Larkamp, and those two are taken out. Could have been worse, Justin.
Yeah, could have been, but right now, I think if you looked at the reaction, I think he wasn't expecting the car to his right to be as close as it was, jerked to the left, and that spun it to the right for the incident right there in the end. So, yeah, it could have been much, much worse in terms of amount of cars involved.
We talked about the battle for second in the points. Right now, Phil Reed racing in 21st position. Jean-Francois Godin racing in 8th. Reed's race is a little less hectic right now as Godin is ahead of Morris. This battle continues. Martinson, McLeod, watch back behind. They are 2 wide back there on the outside. That is your points champion, Tierney, racing around Renault Oosterkamp. You're not missing anything up front. Kessler still trying to hold off Godin. Godin closing in a little bit. But right now the action is back here. Finch had to give some room to Valdo. Up ahead, Martinson now on the inside of McLeod as they go through. Oh, Oosterkamp has lost it. The car got a little bit loose, almost got into Finch.
Yeah, Holstein also running to the back there, almost, I should say, as you see him diving it in there way too quick, bouncing off the rumble strips and spinning the back tires out. He's back up and going, and Buddy falls all the way back.
Stay on it. We can stay on it as Martinson and Finch got together. We can just go ahead and stay on this. It's going to happen here in a few corners. There they are.
Yeah, that's all the way in turn 1 as you see Finch getting rolled up right into the Armco barrier. Martinson involved in that incident. And man, oh man, that's all I can really say.
You can only dance the tango so long in a china shop before you're going to break some porcelain. And sure enough, 3 cars involved in that one. Clean up on aisle 4. Patrick Kessler out in front by 1.3 seconds over Christian Tkach. He has 15 minutes to run him down. Evan, Rolling Thunder Imre looking to get the Tier 2 championship. I think he's in pretty good position, but remember, Kessler was in the hunt.
Yeah, and right behind them is Greenhall and Van Humen right now for 4th and 5th. Greenhall, we've seen with that good run in the feature race, and now still trying to hang on. You've seen him go for a bit of aggressive moves.
Yeah.
So I think right now he's trying to hold on as much as he can to have a great finish here, as you see him rolling into turn number 20 behind Van Humen in 5th right now.
Remember, he did not put in a qualifying time for the feature race. My guess is there was probably some type of qualifying penalty that was assessed to him right now, but he sure did make the best of that situation. Had a good finish and is racing well right now. And you can't forget our mid-race interview from Jonas Vastamaki. He is up to 6th.
Vastamaki currently driving about a second and a half behind him, D Cartel right now at this point. So we've seen Vastamaki make a few aggressive moves, making it 3 wide at some points. And you see him going in and out through these corners once again, getting a lot of speed. In fact, closing in right now on Van Humen a little bit through these left and rights.
Right on board with Jonas. You can sure see at that camera angle, you can see the overcast skies. No sun here at all. They go beneath the sign. Good for grip though. Get kind of hot here in Texas. Those clouds can keep the track cool, help the cars grip a little bit. 23 cars still on the lead lap. We've lost 2 really. Jerry Mojak and Josh Thompson. Although we do have several in the pits: Phil Reed, Mariloso, Martinson, Larkamp, Dove, Herman. I think their day might be done as well.
Yeah, you also have Harrison Finch still in there, Adam Tierney as well, also in the pits at the moment. So right now, just everyone trying to keep it clean here with 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, Phil Reed not having the race he would have wanted. Back in 16th spot. He's already been in the pits once. Looks like he's going to lose 2nd position to Jean-Francois Godin, assuming Godin can bring it home anywhere close to where he is right now. Godin racing in 8th. Surprisingly, Justin, this is unusual after things have settled down. Kind of hard to find a battle out there right now.
Well, that's one thing to have a good director, because the battle right now involves Imre and Greenhall at the moment, which is currently for that 3rd spot. Greenhall, we were mentioning before, could be closing in somewhat with the way he's been running. As you see, he's trying to position himself for that pass, using the rumble strips to his advantage, and trying to make sure he doesn't, of course, get the cut corner for being too sharply in here. Greenhall not even with 1 incident point throughout this entire chicane situation, with Imre right in front.
Look at this. Greenhall is excitement on a stick, as we'll stay on this a little bit here, as he's gonna make this pass, and he gets it done. Imre drops back to 4th. Now we'll take a quick look at Jeroen de Cortel. And as de Cortel has had an incident.
Let's see what happened here. The Drillers Motorsport machine, as you see, once again going through those left and rights. 1 left, as you see. And I think at that point, just elected to pull it off.
Hardware problem? Yeah, maybe the wheel didn't turn for him there.
No, the issue involves connections, because it's a receive throughput fell to an unacceptable level, which means a disconnect for D Cartel right there. That was in the top 10 too for him.
All right, let's go to 5th place. We're looking at it. Our director has found Jonas Vastamaki and Tom Van Humen in a battle. Vastamaki has already made the pass on Van Humen and is now waving back and saying, "See you later."
Yeah, the lap time was about more than a 1.5 seconds difference between these 2 drivers the last time around. This time around, it's very close to being a similar situation. In fact, it's about, it's the exact same kind of gap, with Van Humen going into a 2 minutes and 3 second range, which is one of the slowest laps on the track. So he is starting to fall off dramatically here. And Francois Godin is going to be coming up very quickly here. He's going to have to try and hold him off with this to be able to keep his spot in 6th.
Let's quickly go to the driver in 14th. This is Phil Reed. We're looking at Godin. This kind of relates. Well, we'll stay here. No, I like this one better. Well, okay, director's going to do what I say. Now we're back to 8th. Here we go. I like this battle with McLeod and Morris here. We can watch this battle. I can talk about Phil Reed. We can kind of multitask here. Reed has got around Valdo and is now working his way up to Casper Thon. That'll be for 13th position. Reed has not given up yet. As we look off the back now at McLeod, back at Morris. The director and the commentator doing kind of, excuse me, no, after you, no, after you. There, we finally found out what we wanted to look at.
You can see, though, McLeod probably peeking at his back mirrors at this point, seeing where the car behind him and Moritz is right now, make sure he's where he should be. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a defensive line here once Moritz closes up the gap, possibly in the next lap or two, as you see, because it's slowly closing up, as you see. Now it's within 1 second, the gap.
And talk about a gap that is closing. How about Kessler? Here comes to catch. This has been opened up. I saw it as much as 1.5 seconds. Well, now you don't even measure it in seconds. You can measure it in car lengths, about 5 car lengths right now. To catch is there, and he's got 8.5 minutes to get it figured out.
I don't think he's going to spend the whole 8.5 minutes, though, because I think he's ready to just dive on in there. You can see him thinking about it there. Couldn't get all the way underneath, but he is going to now close it to about 4 car lengths. And this is going to close up through the chicanes. I wouldn't be surprised if the pass comes in like in the same situation before within the next couple of laps, as he is not letting the Cats run away here. Or pardon me, Cat's not letting Kessler run away.
That's it. And now they head through this sweeping left-hander. They'll go down into 11, which is this tight corner coming up. They go through 10. Now they come up to 11. It's all about corner exit here. And then what racing line Kessler will take. Pretty good exit off of both, but I think that Kessler is going to have to defend. I think Tkach has the run. You can see him start to close up little by little. How much does he want to work? Kessler easing it over to the left-hand side, going to play defense. Look at the run that Tkach has. He might actually be able to close the door. Nope, Kessler is there. They go too wide. Now that tight line from Kessler is going to give him the lead, but he's going to lose any momentum. Tkach could try to get it done, but Kessler able to hold off. Tkach is going to have to try to do it somewhere else.
Yeah, that run starting off, of course, with Kessler taking a wider exit and it's having to almost spin off a little bit off of turn number 11, and now the same situation is why the Cats wasn't able to do the same to get the pass as Greenhall has something.
He was racing in 3rd position. He really had nobody to catch, and he just makes a mistake. He does a little 360 into the Tundra. He brings it back out. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, I think. He's going to cycle out in 7th. Now let's go back to our leader. Here they are side by side. We've seen this before. This is into 1. Can he get it? Well, where are you going? Tkach takes about the... My goodness, that's the shallow end of the pool. And he'll get no drive out of 1.
Yeah, that's a very interesting line, so to speak. I'm guessing trying to get anything to stick here with about potentially 4, maybe 5 at the most laps to go here. Trying to test things out to Cats.
I think you might be right. I think it might be a case where I know what's going to happen if I stay in the racing line that I've been trying to make that pass on. Let me take it really deep. No problem, though, because now he's coming up to 11. He'll get another run at it again, but Kessler knows the game. He knows how to defend. Look for that citrus-colored car to move over to the left-hand side. There he goes. Tkach follows him and gets the best tow he can. Boy, He is almost a car length ahead, and I think Kessler finally has to play chicken. He lets it up and give the pass made to Christian DeCatch. And how about a tip of the hat to Patrick Kessler, who could read the writing on the wall.
A great pass right there, and that's going to set up, of course, as you see, for DeCatch a chance to pull away a little bit through these technical turns. And in fact, he's doing exactly that. You see him stretching it out more and more as the lap continues on. Now half a second gap, possibly able to, if he gets the right exit of potentially out of turn 20, have a 0.6 of a second lead, now up to 0.7 into the turn number 20.
It looks like that's going to settle down. So how about we take you back to another battle that I've got. Let's go to 7th position. This is our pole sitter, Tom Van Heumen. He is under attack from Ty McLeod. I can report that Mr. Excitement on a stick, Andrew Green. Oh, no!
And that was Van Heumen right there. You were talking about him. As you see, approaching turn number 20. On the outside, curling in 9th after the spin, as you see there, just too fast, couldn't keep it going, and you see him trying to turn that wheel to the right to keep it in a straight line. Lucky to not hit the wall.
So a little misfortune for our pole sitter. As currently he has fallen back now into 9th spot.
Yeah, Osterkamp right behind him, and Osterkamp has a lot of momentum along with Holstein, so that could lead to him falling out as potentially of the entire top 10 completely.
Well, let's stay on this battle a little bit more. Osterkamp, a veteran. And they go side by side through there. Osterkamp gets it.
And a good pass there. You've seen there. Holstein, I think, is ready to make another pass. Holstein, in fact, everybody going with a defensive line on this one. 3 wide, Soup.
Got to stay on this. I can report that Godin has moved up into 4th, but let's stay on this 3-wide battle, see how it plays out. The man in the middle is Van Heumen. That's Osterkamp underneath them. They can still be 2 wide. Morris looking for some way around. Now they get it sorted out. For now.
For now, because I think for now just went out the window. And pardon me on that, because Osterkamp is now going to be able to tuck in, and this is going to calm down right into just before entering turn number 20. Van Heumen with a very wide exit on that turn, able to get some kind of gap there, and now he's starting to pull away a slight touch. But remember that pull for Osterkamp. He's in the great position for the dive-in.
Let's stay on this a little bit longer. This is the beauty of the sprint race, where here we have Van Heumen. We wouldn't really see him up here battling with guys like Osterkamp. Osterkamp trying to do what so many have been unable to do, take the pass on the inside. He gets it done, tries to get a good bite off, and now I think he's got that pass made. Osterkamp up to 9th, 10th for Van Heumen. Look for Holstein, though he's a veteran. He'll also make that pass as well. All this going on behind Christian DeCatch, who once he got around Kessler was able to pull away that gap, now 2 seconds ahead of Kessler. Kessler, the top Tier 2 driver, trying to move up in that Tier 2 championship. He's got Vastamaki, another Tier 2 driver, between him and Evan Imre. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to do the math here unless we get some help from some of the drivers or series officials to tell you who's going to win the Tier 2 championship. Maybe we can get that to you before we go off air.
Yeah, right now, of course, you have the feature race just before, and the beauty of the Apex Online Racing League is they have a very quick tendency to get the stats together.
They
it
do.
was a 35-point gap between Imre and Kessler heading into this race for that Tier 2, as you mentioned.
Let's go to Holstein. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's go to 10th. This is Holstein. We thought it would heat up again. Holstein in the blue car working on Tom Van Heumen. I think that Holstein is finally going to be able to put the rookie behind him. And again, Soup, he's not a rookie. I apologize to Tom. The white flag is out as Van Heumen drops back into 11th. Phil Reed is in 13th. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Jean-Francois Godin. I think it's safe to say Godin is going to finish in second. All of this going on behind our points champion, at least in the points. That is Adam Tierney. Tierney not really having much of a race here today. In fact, Tierney is out. He's sitting in 23rd.
Yeah, there's still 18 cars on the track for this exciting finish here, as you see Takats trying to get as much gap still on Kessler, now up to 3 seconds. I think everyone's just at this point of trying to get to the finish line and spreading things out, though top 5 still could have some things change around.
The catch, Kessler, Vastamaki, another great race for him. Boy, I look forward to Season 8. We hope the GSRC is back to cover Season 8 and see what Vastamaki can do. He continues to get better. As does Sarah Dove, who's back racing. Last car on the lead lap. She decided not to race up front with the guys. She didn't feel like she had the car set up to do that. I guess when she says she spends half the lap driving around not knowing where she's going, that's probably a good time maybe not to put the car on the front row. But right now our attention goes to a former champion. It is Christian Tkach.
And Kirsten Tkach, as you see, just trying to seal it out, approaching the observation deck around the turn 17, 18, 19. And I think at this point you can be safe to say that Tkach is just about sealed it as long as he does not make a mistake out of turn number 20.
He has been here all season long. He is looking to pick up, this is unbelievable, his first race win of the season. I guess better late than never, as Christian Tkach is going to get the final round sprint race victory. Second place, a hard-fought Patrick Kessler. Jonas Vastamaki is going to get third. Let's see if we can pick up a battle. Maybe Imre? Look at this, Imre in a battle with McLeod. Imre's going to get there first.
And Phil Reed, we're talking about him. He's trying to charge his way to get one more spot on Daniel Morris. Just had a bit of tire spin, and that's going to end up having him from charging all the way back up to 13th. So a decent run for him. I think he'd rather have started up near the front.
Let's go to 10th. Alexis Mariloso, has not heard much from him. He's fighting off the Orange Viking Kmart. This is a battle to get inside the top 10. There's enough time for Martinson to get there as they work through 18. 2 more left-handers before they get to the start-finish line. Canute's got to get going. They come down through, now into 20. Martinson is there. He has a good drive off. I think this might work if the start-finish line is far enough down. Oh, I think it gets there too soon, and unfortunately, somebody's got to reposition the start-finish line here at this place to give him a run. Put it at the end of the straightaway. Mariloso is going to come home in, you know what, I called it in 10th. That was our timing and scoring. That's incorrect. That's 15th and 16th for Mariloso. Larkamp is going to come home in 17th. Last car on the lead lap, I believe it is going to be Sarah Dove. So there you have it. 18 cars finish on the lead lap. Our racing is done here in Texas, but our broadcast is far from over. We'll take a short break. We will come back to run down the entire finishing order of the sprint race, talk to some of the drivers, and then close up shop for the season. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, the final round of Season 7 from Circuit of the Americas, and the results are in the books. Let's go ahead and run down the finishing order of the sprint race that you just saw here. Christian Tkach gets the win, coming from 6th position. Patrick Kessler started in 2nd, was able to hang on to the lead for a while before he had to surrender to Tkach. He comes home right behind them. The driver on the podium is Jonathan Vastamaki. Johan Vastamaki came from 18th to 3rd. What a great weekend for Jonas. Jean-Francois Godin comes home in 4th. Andrew Greenhall, Evan Imre in 6th position. Ty McLeod, Lubomir Morris, Renee Osterkamp, and rounding out your top 10, Christian Holstein. Moving on to the second top 10, that's Tom Van Neumann. We saw him put on quite a show from the pole. He finishes one spot outside of the top 10. Daniel Morris, Phil Reed, 23rd to 13th, but I think he's going to lose 2nd in the points to Jean-Francois Godin. Casper Thron, Alexander Mariloso, Knut Martinson, Stefan Larkamp, and the last car on the lead lap in 18th position, Sarah Dove. First car one lap down, Alexander Valdo. Jeroen Descartel in 20th. Hidden Blackjack, it's Stefan Herman. In the double duck spot, it's Harrison Finch. Adam Tierney, your overall points champion, going to come home in 23rd. Don't worry, Adam, there's drop races. Your championship is still yours. 24th is Yuri Mojak. And the last car, 25th, that shows feast of famine as Josh Thompson wins the feature, finishes last in the sprint. There you have it, and that closes up the season. Congratulations to Adam Tierney, our points champion. And let's see, do we have anybody here to interview here today? Has anybody come in to talk with us before we close up the shop? And maybe somebody can bring them in as I'm still trying to figure out what we're doing. Let's go ahead and talk to Josh Thompson before we talk to Jonas Vastamaki. Josh, do you have a copy here on our new interview booth?
Yes, I do. A lot better.
Congratulations on the feature win, and condolences for the last place finish in the sprint there. We honestly thought you might have a shot at doing the double.
Yeah, I did too, to be honest. I was absolutely gutted when it happened. Like, I'd done a lot of laps this week in the F1 car for the Road to Pro Series, so I did like a 9-hour session today, so I knew the track pretty well. Jumped in the Renault, and it's just a step back. It was quite nice, quite a nice, relaxing feeling to drive that car again, so really enjoyed it. And with the pace I had, first race, I was like, this could actually be the double. And no one had done what Berryman had done, where I think it was like all fastest lap and both the wins. So obviously I wanted to go for that. And it was looking really good. Avoided the first lap mayhem. I literally came to a standstill at one corner. It got past 5 people through the S on lap 2. Then just minding my own business, came into the bottom end of the back straight. I braked late as I normally would do. And the move that I went for would have been fine, but someone in front had spun off. And then as I've rejoined, like tapped me, and I've just gone and got collected with them, spun me around. As it spun around, it snapped the steering. That's why I pulled in.
Yeah, well, you were clearly the class of the field here today, as you showed in the feature, where you really had nobody next to you. You happy with your season?
No, not really. So it's a shame. I don't know. I would say out of everyone on the grid, I probably was the unluckiest this season. Watkins Glen was my fault. That race I should have probably. At the start of the season, I wasn't particularly fast. I knew I had the pace from last season, so I knew I could race against a lot of the fast people. But the second half of the season, I came into my zone, joined Radicals, got my head screwed back on, and obviously partnering with Adam and stuff like that was quite good. Obviously, had a nice team connection because I was on my own as well for the most of it, so I wasn't really putting any effort in. So yeah, the second half of the season was good. I think I could have had a lot more. I think I could have had double here, probably the double at Imola, and probably the double at Zolder. So,
well, congratulations on the season. Hopefully, both you and GSRC will be back for season 8. We look forward to that, and we'll see you coming up. Yeah,
I'll see you next season because I'll definitely be here.
Josh Thompson, your feature race winner here today. Okay, I was hopefully going to talk to Phil Reed, but he stepped away here for a minute. So I want to talk to somebody that we haven't had a chance to talk to much. Let's go ahead and bring in This guy had an impressive run. He started on the pole. This is Tom Van Humen. Congratulations on, I know you finished 11th, but you put on quite a show.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, 11th is quite good for me because the last couple of races I've driven crashed out or something, or got in an accident or something. So yeah, I'm really happy to finish the last race of the season, and I really enjoyed it, fighting up all the guys who are really fast or really quick, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it was a really good race for me, although I was really slow, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Well, you know, I was impressed because usually we've seen drivers in your situation when they're put on the pole and they basically just surrender and get out of the way. My goodness, you stayed in there and fought with the guys as long as you could. I know you finished 11th, but they had to earn every spot they got.
They really needed to fight for me because I was like, I'm not giving up or something. And I was like, every corner or every straight, I can keep them behind me. It's one straight more, one corner more. So, yeah. Now
I gotta apologize. I was calling you a rookie all this race. I didn't realize you had raced here before. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tom. Where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands, and I've raced in Iowa before, Mazda, in season 4 or 5, I think, and in the Formula Renault season 1, but that was only one season, and I was slower than I was now. So the thing was, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm really slow. I'm always last. So yeah.
No. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of this format, is that everybody gets a little screen time. We love it. We're glad you're here. Hey, let's get you out on this one to end the season. What's the proper pronunciation for us Americans for your last name? I'm going with Van Humen. How am I doing?
I'm going to say it in this for now, but it's Tom van Humen.
Okay. I'll do my best to get that. I'll work on that. Hey, great to talk to you. We're so glad you stopped in, and we'll see you next season.
Be definitely there next season. So,
Mr. Excitement, Tom Van Humen, as he puts on quite a show here today. Next, I think we can talk to, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in Evan Imre here, I believe. Let's see if we can get him into our booth. Evan, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right. I don't want to jump the gun. Am I safe to to congratulate you for the championship? Hey!
Yes.
That was a hard-fought battle all season long between you and Kessler and your teammate Martinson.
Oh, that was a nerve-wracking last race, I tell you. Yeah, it's been an amazing season to win some sort of championship, even if it's not the main championship. Tier 2 championship, pretty good. I really nervous. Kessler had an incident in the first race that put him on the back foot, and if he meant he was starting near the front in the second race, so I had to keep within the top 4 of the tier 2 drivers, and I managed to finish 3rd. I think Ty was staying behind. I think I only needed to finish 4th, but I got it done in the end.
And a very good season for Force Fissy. I was sad to see, as the fans were as well, as we are all fans of the underdog story, that maybe you might get a podium for that team. Maybe not going to happen. It looks like maybe 4th place.
Well, I've got a podium in term. I think I've got 1 actual podium this season, but and 1 podium for Team Tortoise. But I got 2 podiums in my 180 race career. So when you're a midfield driver and then you get these the new format of a feature sprint, you're kind of in the midfield for both races. So you never really get the chance to be at the front, like start at the front, to win the race that I want to win. Doesn't look like I'll ever win that race, but I've got some sort of championship in the back, so that's good.
Well, congratulations. It's been fun to watch you race. Congratulations to Team Force Fissy as well. We hope to be back for Season 8. We're hoping you're back, as well as Force Fissy as well. Congratulations.
Yes, thanks, and thanks to GSRC for this season.
All right, Evan Imre. Let's see. We have a lot of people. I can make these quick. We can try to get a lot of people in here. Let's try Stefan Larkamp. I don't know if we've talked to him before. Let's go ahead. Stefan, do you have a copy?
I do.
Hey, we'll get as many interviews as we can before we close up shop for the season. Congratulations on your race today. You finished on the lead lap in the sprint. Put on quite a show.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing because I was involved in an accident early on with Stefan Herrmann. So starting in the top 10 could have been a lot better, though. But, well, at least my teammate got the points. Casper Thring, big shout out to him, definitely. But, yeah, this has been it's a season of ups and downs for me anyway. And it was kind of a trial run this season. And overall, I've really enjoyed this season. I can't wait to come back next time.
Okay, I got to ask you, there's not a lot of Americans in here. What is a Pennsylvania boy doing home on a Friday afternoon?
Well, that's me being a college kid for you. My classes are all done for the day, and love to spend my afternoon sim racing then.
That's how you got to. Now, look, make sure you schedule those classes with Season 8 in mind coming up next semester, okay?
Oh, I certainly am. I can't wait.
What are you studying?
Marketing.
Okay, well. Good luck on that. And when you're all done, give GSRC a call. We can always look for somebody to help us get our name out there.
Oh, thanks. And hey, maybe if you need a guy from the booth, I might be able to jump up there with you guys because I've done some broadcasting myself in the past.
Oh, you're hired. I got 4 to do tomorrow, so we'll give you a call. Talk to Stefan, though. That's great to know, man. We'll keep you in mind. Thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure. Good luck to you the rest of we'll see maybe for Season 8.
Oh, I'll definitely be back for Season 8, and Gap SRT will be here in full force.
All right, Stefan Larkamp. Always good to hear new names here. Last one we'll talk to before we be done. Let's see if we can. We don't have our points championship in here. Let's see if we can go ahead and talk to one of the veterans of the series, and that is Phil Reed. Phil, sad to hear that you're going to step away for a little while, get those batteries charged up, huh?
That is correct. It's been 3 years running in the series, and about a year now of actually being the coordinator for it. So I think it's, I kind of need the break, I think, just to, like you say, recharge the batteries. But, it's been fun.
Absolutely. You lost a second place in the points today, if my math is right. It looks like Godin nipped you.
I finished second enough in the championships in previous years. It doesn't matter.
As long as you got that one crown underneath you, which you do, as I can always get to say, former champion Phil Reed.
Yeah, exactly. None of it really matters. Second, third, doesn't matter. I've already won it, and John's also won it as well. So it's not like I'm losing to bad competition. It's some top drivers in there that are just getting me. So pretty happy anyway.
Was that championship in the Renault or the Pro Mazda?
Oh, that was the Pro Mazda. That was a car that I could actually drive properly.
Well, good luck to you the rest of the way. Hey, don't be a stranger. If you see a GSRC broadcast, step on in there and do a one-off for us every once in a while.
Well, as I say, I'm not being a stranger to anyone. I'm still coordinating the league, so I'm still around, and I'm sure I will pop in. So thanks, guys.
Great. Thanks, Phil. Glad we could talk to you. Okay. There you have it. Director, are we done, or are we going to go through this? We're done. Okay. We'd like to thank everybody at the Formula Renault guys at Apex Online Racing for organizing this series and for contracting with the Global Sim Racing channel to broadcast it. We know you have a lot of choices when you're choosing a broadcast company. Man, we're excited that you picked us. We really try to do our best. Thanks to the company's equipment or software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that makes a GSRC broadcast special. You always know you're watching GSRC when you hear some Casey Lalonde or Eric Ekholm. See the screen for how to contact them. Now, this concludes GSRC's Season 7's coverage of AOR's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, but hopefully things will fall into place so that we can return to bring you Season 8, scheduled to start in 2 weeks, December 15th. For more information about GSRC, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And now, on behalf of my booth mate today, Justin Prince, our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beard, and the gold bricking Sean Ambrose, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm of the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.